All right, welcome. It's time for us to talk sports. We've got exciting stories making the rounds in the world, and there's no doubt that the Olympics got more momentum as medals keep dropping and stars are being created, records being broken, and yes, you call them the Tigress, but I call them the the Tigress were in action yesterday as they did the green, white, green. Lots of proud last night when they beat the Canadian opponent in a very, very fierce encounter. Talking about the first quarter, second quarter, Nigeria was down, but the third quarter, yes, the Nigerian spirits came back to life and the Tigers were on fire. All right, that and other big stories is what you'll be getting on today's exciting edition of the program, Talk Sport. We will not be forgetting the athletics where the U.S. men's 100 meters where Noah Leslie became champion of the world in being the fastest man in the world. We'll be giving those big stories. We've got a lot of footage from the Olympics as well to make you updated with all the big stories making the rounds. We'll also hopefully be getting a sports journalist joining us from the UK to help us do analysis of the preseason of the English Premier League. These and many more stories is going to be hitting you real sports. My name is Anthony Momodu. The King of Sports.
It's time for sports' biggest moments on global television. The headlines, scores, breaking news, and commentaries on sporty events. Talking with the biggest players, strikers, and about the slam dunks and goals, stunning saves, near misses, and upsets. Let's talk about the greatest home runs, comebacks, knockdowns, and victories. Talk Sports with the King of Sports, Anthony Momodu. Weekdays, 10 a.m. Don't miss out.
Global TV has come and has come to stay.
Just 1 year. This is a plus for global television.
My take on Global TV presence on DSTV, first of all, I must say is a great feat. And in this new age, it takes technology to take over.
I believe that Global TV coming into the arena will change the context of international broadcasting in Nigeria.
But I believe that Global TV has come not just to give us anything but the truth and the valued information that we need at hand.
I think Global TV presence will make a very great difference among all other channels. Their presence now on DSTV stations is going to make a very lot of difference among others.
Really believe with the pedigree and the reputation Global TV has gathered for themselves for the last 1 year of their being in existence and being in operation, they are really going to change, have a lot of impact on the digital perspective of TV broadcasting.
New height with this new feat, you are actually going to make us proud, especially within the content that you are delivering for the Nigerian people.
All right, welcome back. You're still watching Talk Sport on Global Television, and today promises to be exciting as we've got all the big stories loaded up for you. Talking about the Tigress doing Nigeria proud last night as they beat Canada and qualified for the quarterfinals. We'll also be looking at all the very important races that went down at the Olympics. And I've been joined in the live studio by Etimbok Obohoso, who is a sports entrepreneur, joining me in the live studio. And like I did say, we'll also be joined by Prince Effium Eneobong from the UK, who will be helping us look at the preseason of the Premier League club sides and also the outing of Team Nigeria at the Olympics. Etimbok, thank you for making it into the studios.
Thank you so much.
All right, let's begin talking sport with the big story that Nigeria's Tigress have been drawn against the United States in the quarterfinals of the women's basketball event at the 2024 Paris Olympics. The Nigerian ladies made history by securing Nigeria's first ever berth in the last 8 of the Olympics basketball tournament. This followed their impressive 79-70 victory over Canada in the final game on Sunday. The team accumulated 5 classification points and initially officially topped Group B. However, their standing shifted when Australia triumphed over France 79-72 in the other group match, pushing Nigeria down to third place in the group rankings. The team is now set to face the defending champions USA on August 7th. 9:30 p.m. is the time. The encounter is the second Olympic face-off between the two teams. At the Tokyo Games, the Tigers suffered a narrow 9-point defeat to the Americans in their opening game. They were also beaten in the 2024 Olympics qualifiers. Elsewhere, in other quarterfinal clashes, we had Serbia clash with Australia, while Spain went up against Belgium, and we are going to also have France will face Germany in other quarterfinals match. So it's going to be a very interesting one as Serbia clashes with Australia that Nigeria did beat, and Spain will go head-to-head with Belgium, while France, the host nation, will tackle Germany. That's on that side. But let's just let you know that the captain of Nigeria, talking about captain of Nigeria's women's national team, the Tigress, Ami Okonkwo, says the team's determination to stay in Paris was the stimulant for their historic win over Canada in their last Group B game of the women's basketball event. And the Tigers are now tearing up the scripts in a big way at the Olympics, shooting down Canada 79-70 to become the first African team to make it beyond the group phase of the in history, making history at the Olympics. All right, Etimbok, just to get your take as regards Nigeria's outing yesterday, were you impressed?
Yeah, definitely. I think it was one of the best moments I had when it comes to basketball history in Nigeria and, of course, in Africa. You know, I first and foremost want to appreciate the coach Wakama. She did a great job. Wakama, I've seen leadership in what she is doing, and of course, if you check the age, she's quite very young. You know, to do such a great stuff. So I must say, I must commend audacity. I must commend that spirit she is having. That's so audacious of her.
Even when Nigeria was done in the second quarter.
Honestly, and I mean, even when we were conceding, you know, in the first round, we conceded
in the first quarter,
in the first quarter. But it didn't. She wasn't shaking. She was so focused, and she kept on telling the team, "Come on, we can do it." I mean, you know, this was so wonderful from a Nigerian coach. And of course, I am beginning to think, could it be that the ladies are beginning to be more audacious? And of course, in the timeline of sports, she did a great job, and I must commend her for that. And also for the team, I was opportune once to watch when they were doing their training. And I discovered that there was so much team spirit. They were never shaken. They weren't being skeptical of who they are facing. They were so focused and are committed. Of course, I saw spirit of sportsmanship in that team.
All right, talking about our super, the Tigers winning last night 79-70 against the very formidable Canadian team. All right, let's make welcome. We've got Prince Effiong Enebong, who is a sports analyst in London, joining us via Zoom. Prince Effiong, nice to have you join us on Talk Sports.
Thank you very much for having me on the show. I'm very, very
all right. First of all, I want to say congratulations to you as a Nigerian. We saw the Tigers beat Canada last night 79-70 in the basketball event. For you, were you confident of the Nigerian team, especially in the first quarter when the Canadians seemed to have overrun the Tigers?
I was confident in the Nigerian team. It's a bit of bias in the situation because I know Nigeria, even from my own experience growing up. We've always loved basketball as much as we love football. I played basketball when I was in school, and I've always admired the way we've always had our drive going forward all the time. But the game was very interesting. I mean, these situations when you're in these competitions, anything is possible, anything can happen. But I tend to, when I'm watching these sort of competitions and final games, and where it's like this, I tend to have an open mind. Because, like I said, anything can happen. Little decisions, little things here and there. But overall, it's better to have a game where, you don't have any of that throughout. Right from the start, you're on the go, and you're confident in your team throughout. But that's the way things just go, I guess. But good luck to, well done to the team from me. Yeah.
All right. Prince Efiam, let's look at ahead of the next quarterfinal clash. Nigeria takes on the U.S. They have beaten the Nigerian team twice already in previous encounter. How big is the test for the Tigers as they face the Americans in the quarterfinals?
It is a massive test. USA has always been a bed of basketball, as we know. You have the NBA. You've always had, and it's a progressive country which invests in their teams, their women, their children, and in all these things. Nigeria, we do have some of these issues, and no matter how good our players are, without the right investment, without the right support, you're always going to find it difficult. But like I said earlier, anything is possible in sports competitions at times. We've taken on big giants in the past, whether in football, in basketball, in other games. So there is a possibility, and I mean, if they're judging from the last game, like you say, even though you might have thought things were not going right for Nigerian team, I think going forward, if we keep that hope the way it went in the last game, then potentially there is a chance. I do believe, but I have to say I'm a bit skeptical.
All right. Before my colleague in my guest in the studio, I get his take. I just want to get your take as regards quickly looking at other events at the Olympics. Nigeria's Favour Ofili has qualified for the women's 200 meters semi-finals at the Paris 2024 Olympics. Ofili stormed to a season's best of 22.24 seconds to win hit 6 of the event. She booked her place in the semi-finals ahead of Great Britain's Diana Smith and Gambia's Gina Bataya. Let's look at the chances of Nigeria, especially Favour Ofili, against Britain. And before you take on that, what would be assessments of Team GB so far at the Olympics?
Well, it's funny you ask this question because I think it was just a day or 2 days ago. I was having this sort of a similar conversation with a friend, and I did notice that the Team GB is just like the American team. These are teams that come from countries that do invest in the people and in the experience and the Olympics and the sports. However, what I wanted to point out is I did notice that GB have specific competitions which the players or the athletes are involved in. There's a lot of people commitment they have towards swimming, towards things like the bike riding, some of the gymnastics. But so when it comes to athletics, I do think there is a huge opportunity for countries like Nigeria. Yesterday there was a bit of which one did I watch in the evening? Yesterday I was watching with that was men's, I think, but that came as a bit of shock for me. I think 2 Americans came second or something like that in the men's. Was it the 200 meters or 100 meters? But anyway. But the point I was trying to make is, I do believe that we do have a good chance. We've always been good in athletics. I trust the athlete herself. She's shown true commitment, and obviously, like I said, being biased as a Nigerian, of course, you do want Nigeria to win. So I am rooting for her. But I don't think GB have a very good at the moment sports athlete. Athlete, yeah, who can take who I'm 100% sure would actually win this competition. I really do think we have a big chance in this.
All right, Etimbok, let's look at Nigeria facing the U.S. What was the expectations? Ami Okoronkwo, the team captain of the basketball team, has said the motivation was to stay at the tournament. That's why they pulled all the stones to beat Canada. Against the U.S., how massive is it going to be? Are we likely to see the Tigers beat the U.S.?
Oh, well, when it comes to sports, beyond the technicalities, there are some psychologies when it has to do with sport. So I actually took time to study the coach. I've discovered she earned so much prowess when it comes to, where the sport, basketball. It doesn't really matter whether the history doesn't favor us when it comes to our clash with the United States. But what matters is the state of leadership, the state of the players when it has to do with this, this game Olympics. So I believe with the spirit the team are having now, and coupled with the leadership skills and the prowess of the coach. I'm very particular about the coach, because once the coach is, very good in what she's doing, definitely the team follows. So I know very well that they are ready to change the history, to break the ceiling, to give us a new record. Sport when it comes to psychology, sport like this in Olympics, when you're meeting, before you see a particular team in Olympics, you clutch it, you don't take it for granted. You understand? So when Nigeria is here now, just believe that thing can happen. Something positive can happen from our clash with, United States of America.
Let's look at athletics. Nigeria's Favour Ofili has qualified for the 200 meters. We noticed there was an error in the 100 meters where, due to administrative negligence by the Athletic Federation of Nigeria, she was not registered for that, that event, which is very sad. But for her to qualify for the 200 meters finals, despite putting that challenge behind, what's your expectations for Favour Ofili?
Favour Ofili, she's just 21 years old, and I know there's always a spirit that backs up disappointment in sports. You understand? Yeah. So beyond every other people's performance, she did a great job, in her hits. And you know what? She needs to prove, because of what happened, she needs to prove to the entire world that she was good enough. That's why you see her doing excellently well. And I'm not surprised if she sailed through the next stage seamlessly.
All right, we're wishing Favour Ofili the very best, as she has won the hit 6 for the 200 meters. All right, let's go into the rounded game. You call it football, as Super Eagles midfielder Alex Iwobi was named man of the match following his classic displays in Fulham's 1-0 preseason friendly win over Benfica at the Estadio on Friday night. The 27-year-old donning number jersey 17 scored a decisive goal in the 21st minute, slotting home from inside the box, assisted by Anthony Robinson. Benfica dominated the early stages, testing Fulham goalkeeper Bernard Leno with a series of attempts, but the Cottagers soaked up the pressure and grew into the game. A 21st minute failed Benfica attack led to a swift counter by Fulham, orchestrated by the tireless Adama Traore, and calmly finished off by Iwobi. All right, Prince Effium, let's get your take as regards talking preseason now. Let's look at the teams in the UK, how preseason is going so far. First of all, let's look at Iwobi winning Man of the Match award and also scoring the decisive goal for Fulham. What does this tell us ahead of the new season? Hello, Prince Effium, are you there? All right, we hope he joins us soon. Etimbo, let's look at this preseason game. Alex Iwobi winning the Man of the Match award and also scoring the decisive goal for Fulham. Is this a good sign for what is to come this new season?
Well, we've had a lot of great performance from Alex Iwobi in the past, and then we are not doubtful of his performance in the next season we are going into. But though we spotted some few disorder in the team, some minor disorder in the team, but when it comes to Alex Iwobi as a player, I believe she's good to go for the next season we are going into. And that was a very nice outing for him in the match, and we expect much better from him in subsequent matches. All
right, just for you to know that his compatriot Calvin Bassey also put in a solid defensive display, playing the full 90 minutes for the Premier League side. The London club will next face Sevilla at the same game today, a game that will possibly feature for Nigerian players Iwobi and Bassey for Fulham, and also Chidera Ejuke and Kelechi Iheanacho for the La Liga side, formerly of Arsenal and Everton. Iwobi's standard performance and goals suggest he is in good form ahead of the new season, which is a cheery news for Fulham and the Super Eagles of Nigeria. All right, let's go now straight to the Olympics. So we'll look at, I'll give you a flash highlight of some of the big events that went down in the Olympics. First of all, let's talk tennis, where Novak Djokovic is. All right, my producer says let's go for a very quick break. When we return from this break, we'll be talking the Olympics, showing you highlights of the big moments of the Olympics over the weekend. Stay with us. Right, welcome back. We're still talking sport on Global Television, and I've still got Eti Boke in the studio as we highlight all the big stories in the exciting world of sport. And we're already joined by Prince Efiong from UK, giving us some of his own take as regards the big stories we're sharing this morning. Let's go to tennis as we give you highlights of what played out over the weekend at the Olympics. Let's let you know that Novak Djokovic, yes, that's the big story, that Novak Djokovic beat Carlos Alcaraz to claim a maiden Olympic title to become just the fifth player to complete a career Golden Slam. The 37-year-old Serb competing in his fifth games came through 7-6, 7-3, 7-6, 7-2 in an thrilling final at the Roland Garros to add Olympic gold to his 24th Grand Slam triumph. That's him celebrating there, but there's a video of him in the match proper, talking about Novak versus Alcaraz is the highlight we're waiting to see, where both two of tennis great players were involved in a very fierce battle, with Novak winning that very important matchup between Alcaraz and Novak Djokovic. All right, let's look at Djokovic winning that. Alcaraz had beaten Novak in the past, like twice, before this Olympics final. And Djokovic was kind of scared meeting Alcaraz in this final. How big is this victory for Djokovic?
Well, I think this is the zenith. This is actually the zenith of Djokovic's performance. Why I'm actually saying so, Djokovic has once won a bronze medal in Olympics, and he needed this gold medal to complete his medal archive, so that he can meet up other of his, contemporaries like Roger Federer and the rest of them. So this was very important for him. And of course, clashing with Alcaraz, a very stunned, young, amazing tennis player, it wasn't an easy game. So you can see it wasn't just a normal win. Yeah. It was a record-breaking win, and he needed to get this. It was very important for his career to be complete. You understand? So you can see Alcaraz didn't give him a breathing space. It was a tough game for him. And of course, when you're going higher like that, you need a great energy. And if actually missed this opportunity, he wouldn't have seen it again. So he needed to go out with the all of his strength. So you can see it wasn't normal break, it was a tie break. He needed to do it 7-2, 7-2. So Alcaraz was ready to make sure that he doesn't pick it. And he had to swear all over his body to make sure he gets that game. So it was a fantastic win for him. And of course, the one thing is, when you have contemporaries in sport, you need to try to ensure that you're at the same page, because when you retire and get home, the story is where they will always win. So they will always make reference to that story. So imagine all the Djokovic has done in his tennis career, and one day sitting down with his contemporary and he said, "So sorry, you couldn't make it to a gold medal in Olympics at all." Yes, he was able to secure a bronze medal some times ago, but not gold medal.
Making you number one.
He took all the medals that is needed in tennis, but Olympic wasn't there.
So it's just like Joel being the best player in Europe, but never been to the World Cup.
World Cup, you understand? So these are the deficiencies that stars, top players in different sports do have. And if you retire without this,
Are we likely to see him now want to retire after this?
Of course, his stage is 7. He might want to go.
Yeah.
You understand? So this, and before Olympic comes again,
4 years.
4 years to
Another
go,
4 years.
and he might not be strong again to reach up that level. You know, to play tennis from stage to stage, coupled with other tennis, you know, other tournaments, and then maintaining a season and still maintain your stardom is not easy. You understand?
True.
So this very one, he needed to go out with all he had to make sure that he secured that gold medal.
All right, still giving you all the big stories, still giving you highlights of the Olympics. Let's take you to the next one as U.S. Noah Leslie wins the men's fastest men's 100 meters. That's the next talking point as world champion Noah Leslie rode to victory in 9.79 seconds to claim the men's Olympic 100 meters gold in Paris on Sunday. World champion Noah rode to victory in 9.79 seconds to claim gold in a dramatic men's Olympics 100 meters final in Paris. That was a very big race there for both for the athletes 100 meters men. We thought it was going to, the Jamaican thought he had won, but at the end it was the U.S. Athlete that did win that race.
Well, you know, one thing I said when it comes to sprint athletics is that till you finish on the line and then you see your scores, that's when you relax. Half a second can give you a win and can give you a lose. So you can lose half a second or you can win half a second. You know, when it comes to such critical race like 100 meters, that's sprint, you don't have to joke with it. So it actually probably thought that the Jamaican thought he secured it already, not knowing that it was, you know, when it comes to that, the tussle means a lot. The tussle means a lot. So he actually did a great job representing US to, you know, keep that wonderful record. I'm so sorry for the Jamaican. We hope next time they do it better.
All right, that's not the Jamaican loss there, even though they finished at the same time, but he was 100 seconds faster than the Jamaican. Talking about the 100 meters men's final, and we're hoping we're going to get the footage. Yes, that's the footage of the 100 meters men's final. Very exhilarating one there between the US, the Jamaicans, and we've got that's the race there. Both athletes,
critical.
Yeah, you could see the Jamaican already celebrating, thinking he had won. Even the American did go to congratulate him, only for the scoreboard to now show something different. You could see Leslie there, and he did win. It's 9.79, but it's just the seconds that was the difference. They're very tight race there, but it tells you, like you rightly pointed out, athletics, you never give up until you breast that tape.
Honestly.
All right, let's still talking the Olympics. Let's go to swimming, where it's the Swedish woman winning here, as we've got Sarah there. Yes, Sarah Ström powered to the women's Olympic 50 meters freestyle gold on Sunday to go with her 100 meters tied to the 30-year-old at her 5th Olympics, hit the world first with 23.71 seconds there. And the Australians, Australia's Meg Harris had 23.97 seconds, was second, while China's Zhang Yusfil had 24.20 seconds coming out third. That's for swimming there. And Sweden beating the odds, beating Australia and China. These are two powerful nations when it comes to swimming. So I think Sweden, and this talking about her age, you would not have expected her to have won, but a 30-year-old coming back, her 5th Olympics.
Well, you know, there's one thing about sports, especially when it comes to swimming. You know, a freestyle like this, Sarah did a great job.
Yeah.
She did a great job. And more of swimming is the technicalities. It's not more of the age. You know.
But you have to be fast.
Yes, you have to be fast.
Because pace is very important.
You know, the beauty of swimming is that once it conforms your body system, your body structure to it, it will be easy for you to swim seamlessly. So over time, and in swimming, it's not like football that you can put more energy, and your energy can as a determining factor of what you can produce as output. But in swimming, once your body turns to it, is a skill, is the technicality of it, and then you get it. So Sarah did a great job, and of course she secured it even at her old age, let me call it old age in sport, but she did a great job.
Fifth Olympics.
The 5th Olympics. It has a fantastic record. She's been consistent, and you know, she's not lagging. she's going higher and higher. I mean, I give it to her. She did a great job. More or less, for Australia has been one of the country in Nigeria producing best both swimmers in the world.
But now Sweden is coming
so
too.
Sweden is coming up. That's why I always say that sports is more of succeeding, and you don't know whether to be at the top and sustain it is not easy in sports, because as you did like this, definitely the other team that was defeated will have to go back and then strategize and then see how to outwit you. Definitely.
All right, well said there, Tibok, there, breaking it down like he does swimming too. All right, let's move on. Let's move on to, we're still talking swimming, and let's just let you know that American Bobby Fink smashed the world record. Yes, he did, and he at the same time defended his Olympic title in the men's 1,500 meters freestyle on Sunday with the Italian Giorgio Neri taking second, and Ireland's Daniel Wiffen taking bronze. Talking about the men's 1,500 meters, American Bobby Fink winning the race. Talking about 1,500 meters race. The Americans, yes, Bobby Fink, we expected him to have won it, and he did win it. But it was a very, very strong challenge against Giorgio, talking about the Italian and also Ireland's swimmer.
Yeah, Bobby has been a consistent swimmer, and very focused. When it comes to a long distance heat in swimming, it hasn't been an easy job. You understand? 1,005 meters is not easy in swimming.
I'm telling you.
Understand? So
it's like you're going one, two,
you have to turn, and you know when it comes to swimming, it's not like race that you have all you need to text. Every sport has its own difficulties, but in swimming, I mean, it takes grace. So I give it to Bobby. He did a great job, and he's very consistent. I like his style. He doesn't shake. He's not panicking.
Yeah, because at a point it was looking.
At the point, even when he was looking at others. That's part of swimming. You have to see yourself. You understand? But he did a great job. I give it to him. He deserved the position.
All right, let's take one more as regards swimming before we go back to Prince Effiong, who is joining us from the UK to give analysis as pre-season. Let's look at China's men's 4x400 meters team that did win gold in swimming, as a world record holder Pan Zhanli celebrated his birthday Sunday with his storming final leg to hand China gold in the men's Olympic 4x100 meters medley relay. The Chinese team of Zhu Jia Wu and Qin Haiyan and Sun Jiajun and also Pan touched in 3 minutes 27.46 seconds, with the United States second with 3.2801 seconds, and France coming third. That was a very historic. This was battle to finish 4x400 meters medley.
Yes, when it comes to a team games like this, China do always give their best. I like their team spirit when it comes to this. You can see in the all of Olympics, they came out with the highest number of representatives. You understand? So I like the investment China does, even when it comes to swimming. You understand? So they were really prepared for it. When you check China, they have the secondary target, they have primary target. You understand? When it comes to team. So indeed, you can see that with the number, they were ready for most of the team games.
All right, let's join Prince Effiong, who is waiting for us in the wings from UK to get his take. Prince Effiong, thank you for rejoining us back on the program, Talk Sport.
Thank you.
All right, we'd like to get your view. We did take the news earlier on that your countryman, talking about Alex Iwobi, did win man of the match in the pre-season game between Fulham and Benfica, where he scored the decisive goal to give Fulham 1-0 victory. Let's get your take as regards Alex Iwobi. Do you think finally Alex Iwobi might just be becoming the player we've been expecting him to be, like his uncle JJ Okocha?
Do you know Alex Iwobi is an interesting one? I've actually followed him, over the years when he was with Everton, I remember, and a few other teams as he was coming along. And I do actually think he is definitely coming into his own. He was never really he's never really scoring. He missed quite a lot of chances in games. from my watching him over the years. He took some risks, took some shots, but he's not really a goal scoring midfielder. He didn't have that in his game earlier, maybe 2 years ago, 3 years ago. But in the last year, he's added the goals now. So the goals are now coming into. He's not still prolific and scoring a lot, but he's doing that. He also has one thing people don't say a lot about Alex Iwobi is that I think he actually has a very good foot. Like you have like he reminds me a bit like Beckham in a way. Not like if he had that accuracy and he was David Beckham in terms of shooting all the time, but when the way he kicks the ball, his style, he does have some uniqueness in his style. He does have some good range of fire. But I'm so glad that he's adding the goal now. It's good to see that. I've always thought he does have a lot more in him, and we're just waiting for him to deliver more, which I hope is coming to now.
All right, let's look at Manchester United were in action yesterday against Liverpool, and they were beaten 3-0 by Liverpool. Is that a sign that United is still not ready for the new season, or are they going to give us the excuse of injury worries again by Euro, their new star player, Rasmus Højlund, who is also injured? And for Liverpool, do you think Liverpool, they've got the right man and a slot that is going to take them to compete for the Premiership title this season?
Well, I do believe United is still not there, actually. I mean, it's never not near anything, the United of old, which we all know, those days. But even with this new generation and this new investment and everything, and even with the fact that they did win was it the FA Cup, wasn't it? The FA Cup or the League Cup last season, which is definitely a good achievement. You can't take that away from them. So there is some progress, but if we're expecting them to be like the old United, I don't think they're quite there. I think Liverpool is way at the moment. Still, I mean, obviously they've lost Klopp now, so we're yet to see what's going to be. But so maybe they're playing for a new manager. Who knows? Maybe that's what it is. But I mean, in the trophy cabinet, I know in England here, United and Liverpool fans are constantly bickering each other, constantly fighting. Who has more trophies? Who has this? And I think at the moment it is 44 to 45. I think United is 45 and Liverpool is 44. So very soon, I do see where United is going to Liverpool's probably going to overtake that cabinet, and then. I don't know what's going to happen with United, but let us see what happens this season. I still think that maybe there's still a little bit of you can't really judge everything from just a preseason. I know last year, I mean, you could sometimes, but not necessarily. And it's just one game. You can't really judge the whole season based on one game. So let's look forward and see what happens. But I don't think United is back to where they were before. I admire the new player. I admire him. I call him their own version of Haaland, Højlund. Is their own version of Haaland. But I do admire him. I think he's got a lot in him. I think he's going to be a fantastic player. And I just can't wait to see what he brings, in this season and going forward as well. But
let's get your take on Chelsea also. Chelsea and other teams. For you, do you think they're ready for the new season? And do you think it's going to be a runaway by Man City again for this new season? Especially the Charity Cup that is coming up next weekend, talking about Man U taking on Man City.
Yeah, I don't think there is Chelsea is Chelsea, according to some statistics, and so, there's something like last year there was something I can't remember what stat it was, but there was some sort of research and things that were done, and they found out that they did a sort of an AI what do you call it, an AI league. Football league, and at the end of that, the AI, after the games in the season, the AI said that Chelsea was supposed to be in the top 5 or 6 last season. But if you look through the season, it took them towards the end of the season to actually show that form which this AI was mentioning, and towards the end of the season, they shot up right up the league, up the table. I do think Chelsea is formidable. It's still a very, very new squad, very, very young. Very new players. In fact, I was looking on their website 3 days ago, and I couldn't recognize a lot of the players. I was like, "Is this my?" Because I support Chelsea too. I was like, "Is this my Chelsea?" I don't know this guy. I don't know this guy. I don't know this guy. But there's still a lot of names there who are fantastic and who did an amazing job last year. So I do think Chelsea are going to have a lot more to say this year The youth in the squad are like we say here, buzzing to get into the game, get into the season, I think. And Chelsea has a lot of past history that they have to live up to. But when it comes to City for this season, I don't think City will take it and run away this season. I think they struggled a bit last year, and it's just the experience they have, the good manager they have, and all those sort of things, and the inexperience of the other league teams that that actually helped them win the league. I think Arsenal will chase them this year. I feel Arsenal perhaps could win it this year. That's where I'm going with my feeling, which I know all the Arsenal fans will be loving, but I'm not happy to say.
All right, before we let you go, because we are about wrapping up, before we let you go, let's get your take as regard still a little bit about Chelsea. Do you think they've got the right manager in Enzo Maresca?
Well, I don't want to get into trouble, but I don't particularly think that. The reason I say that is because I do know my football a bit. I do know some managers, but I don't really know a lot about him. It has happened in the past. There's been other managers who have come into the Premier League who I never knew about. But when you look at the seasons they had, it's been great. Even some of the teams they had. So there is maybe he might. I don't know much about him to say that, but I can't say I'm that confident. If I'm being honest, I would have preferred a bigger name that is or more popular name. But perhaps he has some skills in managing youths. That's the most difficult thing I think for Chelsea is just the fact that all the players are really, really young and inexperienced. So you need somebody that can manage them, who can manage inexperience and youth as well as the rest of the game. So maybe that's what they saw in him. I can't say for sure. But personally, my own opinion as a Chelsea fan, I'm not particularly the most impressed.
Okay, finally, we've got El Clasico first round already gone by, and Barcelona beating Real Madrid 2-1. Were you surprised?
Yes, a little bit of surprise in the sense, but I wouldn't say too surprised, just because I find that, especially when a team like Real Madrid have won the Champions League, when you win all these trophies, and then you play. I mean, it was a friendly, wasn't it? They played, I believe. But when you play
El Clasico,
so when we're kids, sometimes if you win too many games, you let the other person win one game, kind of thing. Somehow, when it comes, they've gone Mbappe now. So I don't think they are going any backwards. I think they are going marching on. With the old Real Madrid.
All right.
All right.
I want to say.
Yeah.
All right, Prince Effiong, I want to say thank you for joining us this morning on Talk Sport on Global Television. I'll be having more of you in the coming days. Thank you very much, and we hope, hopefully tomorrow you join us as we look at other issues making the rounds in the exciting world of sports.
I'll be very, very happy to do that. Thank you very much for inviting me and allowing me to come in.
All right,
my pleasure.
That's Prince Effiong Enebong there from London, joining us to talk sport this morning as we looked at very big issues. I've got Eti Bok still in the studio. I've got all the Bong and Eti, all of you. All right, let's quickly just wrap it up in one sentence. Pre-season El Clasico, Manchester United losing to Liverpool. What's your take?
Well, the whole thing is, being that it's preseason, we know that it's actually a way of starting. We believe and we expect they'll do better, especially when it comes to Manchester United. It has been a regressive pattern of competition, like food performance that have been showing up. So we hope they do better this time. Definitely, yes.
All right, so that's how we're going to call it a wrap on today's edition of the program Talk Sport. I want to say a big thank you to my guest, Eti Bok, joining me in the studio and making his debut on Talk Sport. Hopefully, we'll see more of you.
Definitely.
All right, so that's how we call it a wrap on today's edition. My name is Anthony Momodu, the King of Sports, saying thank you for being part of today's edition. And hopefully tomorrow is going to be a blast. Join us. Good morning.